It's national meets regional. Welcome to Sidewalks Entertainment, the long-running celebrity, music, and art series. Join us now for an exciting new path to celebrity interviews, music, rising talents, and much, much more.
Hey! Get out of here! Hey!
Our guest today is a talented actor, best known for his roles in Finding Neverland, August Rush, and The Art of Getting By. I'd like to welcome Freddie Highmore to Sidewalks. Hey, Freddie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hello there. No, thank you.
So, how did you sort of become an actor? You started at a very young age, I know that.
Yeah, I guess in some ways I fell into it. It was never my intention as a young person or younger than I am to sort of do this forever, but I guess for the time being it's what I've been doing, and I got lucky with the film that you mentioned, Finding Neverland, to be part of such a great cast, and I guess it really took off from there.
Well, I know that you come from a showbiz family. I know your dad is an actor, and I think your mom's an agent. That's a pretty lucky set of cards that you were dealt for that.
It's funny because I've never considered us to be a showbiz family in any way. My mum's an agent, but my dad has always just looked after my brother and I ever since I've been born. So in a way, they've always been keen to maintain normality beyond acting, and sort of going home back to London was always a break from it as opposed to a continuation.
Sure. Well, let's talk about your series, Bates Motel. Did you have any sense about who Norman Bates was when you took on this role? Like, you know, you were a young man, and when this film originally had come out, you know, none of us were born. So what did you have in mind for him as a teenager, as a young man? Do you have any preconceived ideas?
Certainly, I'd heard of Norman Bates. I think I'd seen Psycho once before when I was 14. So just remember it as being, well, I guess everyone does, that sort of scary endurance of him that isn't built on special effects, but more just the idea of this unassuming man who holds these darker secrets. And then I've rewatched Psycho before every season, I guess, in some sort of inspirational way.
So what did you do to prepare for this role?
I always feel that the character mostly comes to me the first time that you read the script. And so reading the pilot, and actually we had the first 6 episodes before we started shooting anything way back in the start of season 1. It sort of appeared to you fully formed, and it's more developing that character over time and changing it from the person that you had at the beginning, and sort of plotting Norman Bates' descent into insanity, which will hopefully come, well, certainly by the end of the series, but by the end of season 3 we'll know exactly where he's headed, and he can't get out of it.
Well, you've got such a great cast. What's it like on set?
I'm incredibly lucky. We all have such great fun as well. I think for a show that ostensibly has so many darker sides to it, there's also this lovely sort of delicious dark humour that underlies a lot of it. And so working with the I mean, both the writers and the cast, they're all fantastic at getting out those lighter moments that are needed at times.
Well, although you started your career at a young age, you're still really young. Is there anyone that still kind of makes you a little tongue-tied, like in terms of in the business, that when you see them, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm standing next to so-and-so? Is there anybody that does that for you?
Not particularly. I guess I've never, maybe from working with well-known actors when I was younger, I never sort of saw them as being more special as a person or different from anyone else. And so in that way, there isn't someone in particular. Everyone's just normal people, really,
Right. Now, I'm sure that you are recognized on the street quite often. What was kind of the strangest fan encounter that you can recall?
Gosh, the strangest fan encounter. They're usually pretty nice. I think I've avoided any particularly weird ones. I was once sent a big box of hand warmers, which sort of, really, there must have been hundreds in there, which was really thoughtful given that I live in London and it's often quite cold in the winter, so they came to much use. But it was quite a bizarre and unexpected gift.
Are fans different across the world? Like when you're in America and doing promotional tours like you are now and you're interacting with fans, are the fans in America different than, say, Europe, or are all fans really pretty much the same?
No,
from your experience?
I think there is a difference, but it's less the fact that the fans themselves are different rather than the country. And Americans and Brits, I think, have a different approach at times in life, and that comes out as well when people recognise you. The British approach always seems to be a lot more unassuming and sort of apologetic, perhaps.
Now, do you enjoy social media? Are you out doing Twitter and Instagram?
No,
like, is that kind of your thing interact with fans?
I don't have those myself, but I guess I enjoy watching other people use it.
That's okay. Well, if you weren't an actor, what do you think your career path would have been? Did you have a plan B?
Well, I just graduated from university last year from Cambridge back in England.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so I guess that's always been alongside acting and of equal importance to me. So certainly it wasn't a decision that I made at a young age that I'd want to carry on acting at the age that I am now.
Right. Well, for those young actors out there who, whose parents are worried about their kids going into the business, you really have kind of forged your own path with that. What kind of career advice would you give to parents who have children who would like to break into acting?
I think it's important to maintain a distance from it growing up. And obviously I had that from being somewhat separate from the film world and the industry that I was a part of by living in London and sort of going to normal school and having that as my day-to-day life, as opposed to believing that the amazing experiences that I had were anything other than just being extremely lucky.
Well, Freddie, we appreciate you being with us today on Sidewalks. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Cheers.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit sidewalkstv.com.